Hello and welcome to In the Arts. I'm your host, Will Nichols, and it is my pleasure to have a very charming guest on the show. And not only is she just charming, she is very talented as well. And she's talented as a writer, singer, and also she does a one-woman show, and she's also an artist. However, one of the talents that we're dealing with tonight is she's written a book, and we're going to explore her talent as being an author. And the book is a very fine book called Black, Blind, and Female. And this book is an inspirational type of book to many people who've had to overcome problems in their lives and through different situations, however they may come, that are not always, well, they're not in our control. And it should be, I find it very interesting. I read some parts of it and whatnot, but I tell you what, I'm sorry, my guest is Carrie Kelly, who is the author of the book Black, Blind, and Female. And I'm very proud to present her to you today. And well, let's see. I want to expound on this. Just the comment on how, first of all, how did you get into writing a book, and what are the things that inspired you to do this?
Oh, the book. Well, first, let me say thank you for having me on the show. And the book was a process. The book is a result of a trip that I took to Sedona, Arizona with a good friend of mine who was terminally ill at the time.
Okay.
And during our trip, I experienced some spiritual awakenings, if you will. And I got started on a journey to forgiveness for my adoptive mother, my second adoptive mother, who through a energy healer asked for forgiveness. So in the process of working through forgiveness for her, I had to deal with what went on and why she needed forgiveness.
Now, was that, as I read in some of the book, was that Frances?
Yes.
Who was Frances? I
Yes.
thought so. And
Yes.
in the period that she passed away, and was 1989.
83.
83. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah. And then
83.
then the next period, of course, takes up in the 10-year increments. Which, by the way, I want to compliment how interesting that is laid out, and it's very it's right to the point, and where it makes some interesting mental, mind, visual things that can be seen in the mind's eye, type of thing, and a lot of feeling. Let's see. I'll let you continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but that was just an observation I had made out of that particular early part of the chapter, because I read the pre what you call it for the book, and it's pretty open, and it's kind of sets you up to move through the book and get into the subjects as they come up after another. But go ahead, and the other thing of it is the power, and through your experiences that you relay in the book are very interesting. And so this other understanding, moving through the book, it sounds more like an auto, or is it a biography?
It is.
Okay.
It's an autobiography, and it started out as just letters that I was writing to Frances.
Okay.
Because I was so angry, and I was processing the anger through my letters, among other things. But as my friend that I went with to Arizona began to get sicker, and we were sharing our stories with each other. It felt like I needed to do something bigger than just forgive my mother in my own little space and in my own little world. It felt like I needed to bring it out to the world. And so I said, okay, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a story, my story. But while I was writing it, I knew that it wasn't just my story. I mean, the experiences that I had in my life other people have had some of those experiences as well. Not necessarily in the same order, maybe, not to the same degree or same level, but there's so many levels in that book that other people can relate to. I felt like I was telling other people's story while I was writing my own, and as the book has started, gaining popularity, that's what I'm hearing. Like, I went through this, I remember dealing with that. And so that was the first piece of it, just writing the book and processing the emotions of everything that I was writing about. I was going back through it with a new perspective.
And I also noticed, the way you set it up through the chapters is steps, and you're moving forward, and you're like coming from there to over here, and I find that quite interesting. Just to name off a few things here. I should have found out where you were from. I didn't even ask that, man.
Well, I was actually born in Southern California, and I lived in different places in Southern California. And then when Frances adopted me, she lived here in the Bay Area. So I moved. She came and got me from Southern California to move here, to live here in the Bay Area. So yes, I landed in East Palo Alto. And then I think I moved out of East Palo Alto when my dad remarried, and I lived with him for a short time. And then I started moving around, growing and on my own and getting my own first job, my first apartment, that whole thing.
Yeah, I read that. Well, that's always an exciting thing, because I can relate to that myself when I first left home. And I think the first job I had, and I still remember it, was spray painting some fish.
Oh, fish?
Yeah. Well, it was for Northwestern Display. This is back in my hometown in Minneapolis. Anyways, that first job was so exciting, and I bought Emerson TV. So I was so proud of that. It's the first job I had. It's the first thing I bought off of a job that I had and whatnot. So I relate that. And then you go on and you build from that. So you have a point to build from. And it's always exciting, and it just trains you for bigger, better things to deal with. But I certainly admire the things you worked with, and trying to get through a lot of things. Through the chapters are very interesting that I read, and I'm trying to think of some more stuff here. I can't. Y'all gotta excuse my bad writing. I try to go so fast. But one of the things it mentions too, I remember one chapter about a new home and a new you. We just kind of, when you moved around, but I got from that, you stepped off into a different era, and then you were like adapting to that era, that particular thing. And through that, and how the environment that you moved to was affecting you, and you changed a little bit. I remember the colors. What was it? Pink and white, and something like that. Yeah.
That was my bedroom, my little haven, my very own girl bedroom. Because moving into the house, there were a lot of other people that already lived there.
I see.
But I got my own room, and
Your cousins, I think I read that part.
It
Yeah, I
was
read
pink.
it. Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
pink
yeah.
and white, and it was just a little girl's dream. There were porcelain dolls in there, and I was 4 years old, so you can imagine what a 4-year-old will do with porcelain dolls. So
yeah.
that was the first thing to have. That was the first thing to go. But yeah, it wasn't adapting. It took some adapting to. I gained a new identity because before I was adopted, I didn't know what nappy hair was. I didn't know what piss colored meant.
Yeah, I read that part. Also, it brought back memories in my family of the hot comb.
Yeah. Oh.
Put it on the stove.
Woo,
It was made of
comb.
steel. and you put it on the stove and heat it up.
Yes.
And I remember my mom, she used to use that and straighten the hair. And actually, it did straighten the hair.
Oh, yes.
Out and down and whatnot.
With a lot of heat.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I know. I think I got accidentally burnt a little bit, because I was an inquisitive kid, like most kids are, and there wasn't a lot of safety things around to protect you in those days. Well, when I was coming up. Fans didn't have a shield on them, and there were oil stoves that didn't have nothing. You fall in some burns.
Right.
That was just one of the things. You just didn't really think about too much in those days, because now we're times change. We're very safety conscious. It was a lot of stuff we're doing, but yeah, that certainly brought back a lot of memories. My goodness, and you mentioned that in the book, and kind of got a kick out of that, so that bringing back that memories, and you could hear I could smell and hear the crackling of the hair.
Oh yes.
But but the end result was good. But now getting back into a few other things, because I just sort of say, well, I'm kind of curious too, because myself, I think about writing a book too, and. Just in that, and this is for as well as the viewing audience, because I'm sure people are curious about it. And then someone may be watching it would like to know some steps about the first thing you'd have to do to putting a book together, and just how that is, and what is that experience like? And how do you do that? Or does it vary with, I don't know if it varies with different, is it an individual type of thing that varies? Everybody doesn't do everything alike, I'm sure, but how that be, how is that,
Well, I can just basically tell you about my process.
Okay.
I like to journal, and what I say is journaling was always my jackpot. I could, I love the process of writing to get my feelings out. And so my process for writing that book was, as I was just writing my story, I would go through my journals or go through journal entries and pull things out. And
so would you make notes, like I say, to yourself or something like that? Or?
Not really. Not when I was ready and I knew I was writing my book, I was very deliberate about, I'm going to sit down for the next 3 hours, and I'm just going to work on the book.
Okay.
And I would sit there and type in what I thought I wanted to write, and then I'd leave it and then go back later and listen, or my computer reads back to me.
Okay.
So I would listen to it and see, what that sparked, and that would, help. But there were a lot of different tools that I used but this was my story.
Okay.
So, you pull information from your own life and you write about it, and, but I when it comes to writing other things like fiction, or poetry or anything else, there's always a different process for that.
I understand.
When I was writing the script for my one-woman show,
that's what I was to touch upon that. Yeah,
I used characters that were based on emotions.
I see.
So I played a character that I called Anger, and I dressed in red, and I gave it the diatribe, so to speak, of what anger would say if anger was a person.
Oh.
And I developed all of my characters from my one-woman show out of my own life experiences. So everything that I'm doing is based on my life experiences.
Interesting.
Like when I'm singing, if I'm gonna, share my vocalist talent, I will only sing a song that I can feel because it has some kind of connection to me in my life. There are songs that I just refuse to sing because there's no connection there for me, or there's nothing that I can quote unquote sink my teeth into in order for me to give it the emotion and the feeling that I'm capable of. And so it just goes on. It just goes on.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, so like I said again, I was thinking, it is an individual type of thing, and it's many ways to do it according to the personality and life experience of the person who's writing the book or arranging different things. And I really would like to also see, have you ever performed the one-woman play?
I did. Yes, I did.
Where was that at?
I did it in Sunnyvale at the Performing Art Theater back in May 2014.
Man, I'm sorry I missed that.
Yeah, it was called Somebody Else's Child. And it was my debut. I plan to, I would like to redo it again. And I'm shooting for April, because April is Abuse Awareness Month. And my show is, the gist of my show is showing how some of the abuse happened in my life. And the other thing is, I'm very clear about giving people resources when they show up at my show. When they leave my show, they will have resources so that if they know of abuse going on, they have some place to go. If they've if they're dealing with their own abuse, they have resources and things to help them through that. My show is like twofold. It's like you get entertainment, but you also come away with some resources to help you through. Because it's very heavy. It's very heavy. I've managed to put some humor in it. I give my little one-liners like about my my vision. I say I have enough eyesight to get me in trouble, just not enough to get me out, or not enough to get a driver's license. And then I look at the audience and ask, which one will give me their car keys and let me try to drive their car. And nobody ever. No
takers,
no takers. I'm still trying. I'm very persistent. I am determined to drive a car before I leave this earth. I am. And Google is coming out with something, so
Well, you seem with their personality. You seem to be very determined, and this is proof of that determination. As well as some other things you have accomplished, with your expression and whatnot. So, but in April, that'd be, of course, 2015, and when that, I wish you even had a date for that. But when I'm sure, for sure, let us know and let that happen. I for sure want me a seat there so I can see that, because it's very interesting and entertaining for, but like you say, it's also knowledgeable and helpful to people that need the services for the particular subject and particular awareness as well, make people more aware, because that's always a subject that we need to be aware of, because it's going on all the time. as we're sitting here speaking, it's going on, somewhere, sometime, someplace, and whatnot. So, now getting back. Okay, were you going to say something? I didn't mean this.
Oh no, I was just going to say that one of the things that is driving the my work in the world is the fact that it is still happening and it is still going on, and there's for me, I feel there's not enough activism or attention or proactive activity going on to put a stop to it or even discuss it. I mean, even in my own life, I've felt like when I start to talk about this subject, people don't want to address it. They don't want to talk about it. And so I feel very frustrated sometimes, but what helps me is I always think about Harriet Tubman. She didn't get a lot of support, when she was doing her work in the world. Absolutely. And, she went on and did what she had to do. And so, I try to take a lesson from her and keep going.
Oh, so. Absolutely. And oh man, I could go on and on with you, but unfortunately we're kind of running out of time.
Okay.
So I want to, like Columbo says, just one more thing.
Okay.
And I want you to sign this, please.
Oh.
And
yes.
I'll be honored. There that is. And here that is. And while you're doing that, I want to give acknowledgments to KMVT Channel 15 for letting me have a show. And I most certainly want to thank my crew that come out here that did such a great job. I'm very proud to have you, and makes me proud to have a show, period, and have such prominent guests and be honored by guests such as in the person of Carrie Kelly, who I look forward to see things happening from. And oh my gosh, I don't know what more I can say except wow. And again, thank you for looking in in the arts. And if we're running out here, and again, I want to thank you. And then I can hold this book up here, let the camera come in. And this is called Black, Blind, and Female. This is the book we were discussing tonight. And you certainly got
the way I signed it.
Oh yes.
I always sign: be real, be true, be focused on your truth and your reality.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that's a true saying. Anyone can. This relates to everyone, not just females, but everyone who has odds to overcome in their life and needs inspiration. And also, we can't forget the spiritual inspiration that comes from God as well, that can work through you and work through the situation and help you through life's trials. And again, man, it's really a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for
having me. You made this show. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, man. I can sit here and just talk to you for eons.
Because I can talk back too. Oh, I have a lot to say.
I know that's right. I know that's right. And it's a joy to have you, man. And I don't know what to say except that I've learned a lot tonight, just having you on the show, covering things that I question about, not just writing, just the compilation of putting things together, putting the book together. I would truly like to put together a book before I leave the planet too, because my side is through the things with what it is in the arts and the music and whatnot. And there's some disappointments there too. Everything you do has disappointments to it, but just how you deal with them. So it doesn't matter what you do. So, and to you out there, hopefully that what we've said this evening, you'll find of some inspiration to you and in your life, and can help you through any problems that you may have. And God bless you, and thanks for looking in on the show.